we've just discussed how Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye promoted a New Jersey school district to hold off a high school American Studies class. But this isn't the first time Toni Morrison is made a target by conservative parents and lawmakers. Recently, another parent called Morrison out in a political ad campaign. Take a look.
As a parent, it's tough to catch everything.
Okay.
So when my son showed me his reading assignment, my heart sunk. It was some of the most explicit material you can imagine. I met with lawmakers. They couldn't believe what I was showing them. Their faces turned bright red with embarrassment.
The parent in the video, Laura Murphy, is on what she would call a crusade against another book of Morrison's, Beloved. Yes, Beloved, the book that won the Pulitzer Prize and the Nobel Prize in Literature, etc. She's been trying to get it off of Fairfax County schools in Virginia, their curriculum. And with the help of her call to arms, Glenn Youngkin was elected as the new governor of Virginia. So they're getting some traction here. The question is why? Joining me now to help make sense of that is Dr. Christopher Emdin. He is the author of the book Ratchetdemic. Welcome to the show. My brother, help us understand here, what is going on?
You know, I couldn't help but just like laugh at the ad you just showed. It is the classic exemplar of this established notion in contemporary America that we should all be functioning for the protection of the innocence of children, particularly white children. And what's going on here with Westfield, whether or not the vote goes for keeping the course or not, it's the visibility of this thing around banning this book is providing ammunition for this sort of right-wing machine that's about indoctrinating. You know, like they make the argument they're against the indoctrination of students into schools that are eliminating any focus on honesty or truth or goodness, and that it hyper focuses on making white children feel bad and black kids not wanting to better themselves. But there's a whole machine that's been constructed around this protection of innocence, and schools have been the site where that sort of like that battle in the imagination of Americana plays out in full form. And so what we're having here with Westfield is those folks are not concerned about whether or not this course gets approved or not. They're concerned with creating a notion that there's some parents that are angry that the schools are trying to indoctrinate their students or expose them to things that they're not ready for yet, and that we should all be sort of focusing on what's going on in schools, because schools are the site for us making the next generation be broken or flawed or have some absence of innocence. It's such a sick, underhanded play at using schools as a weapon for supporting a right-wing political agenda. And I'm just shocked that more parents don't see that they're pawns in this game without recognizing that the banning of a book by a Pulitzer Prize winner and a Nobel Prize winner, it should be something that's not of any question at all. And that they're invoking a notion that teachers of elective courses, which are teachers who oftentimes know their subject matter in and out and have elected to engage in conversation with young folks who are more prepared than most young students to engage in critical discourse, are going to utilize the course as a means to, you know, mess up the innocence of their children. It's sickening. But schools have become a seedbed for allowing right-wing politicians to say, look what the left is doing to destroy the innocence of our children.
It's an interesting point you make. And one of the ways that they say the innocence of young people is being disrupted, particularly white students, because that's the audience for their outrage. One of the ways they say that the innocence is being interrupted is by the conversation on race. It's race talk in particular, right? We've seen books like Skin Like Mine. We've seen, books that just point out that we're black. Right? Oh my God, a kindergartner is going to find out they're black. They probably know, right? Books that mention issues of difference, right? The idea of talking about privilege at all in a high school classroom, the mentioning of settler colonialism or any kind of critique of Christopher Columbus, you know, in the social studies classroom. These are things that these politicians are saying are the attack on the innocence of our young people. It's as if they act like the curriculum was neutral and fine and harmless until people like Christopher Emdin with his books on Ratchetdemic and talking to white folk who teach in the hood, right? It's when you people show up talking this race stuff, and God forbid the Gloria Latson Billings of the world who talk the critical race stuff, y'all are ruining schools.
Well, here's the wild thing about it. The argument is that they want to protect the innocence of young people. And in reality, what they're doing is hiding young folks from having the opportunity. Like you're protecting the children from questioning, from thinking deeply, from being critical. And so when the kindergarten kids can't learn about skin, the juniors in high school can't engage in a text that talks about the experiences of a child set in the 40s, as though we don't understand that there's historical context at play here. It literally, for me, is more of an indicator that the parents who are outraged needed to have a course like this when they were in school. I mean, because it's quite obvious that there's an inability for those parents to understand context, to understand that you can draw an excerpt from a text that is removed from the larger information around the text. I mean, to ban a book that has quotes like love is never any better than the lover, wicked people love wickedly, violent people love violently, weak people love weakly, stupid people love stupidly, but the love of free man is never safe. You're banning a text that has a quote that can be utilized to make sense of not just personal experiences, but historical experiences. Literally, you're protecting your child from being equipped to be successful in college, in any career. I mean, it's a text that helps us to make sense of subjectivity versus objectivity. This is a text that can help us to make sense of how you can learn science better, art better, the world better. And so, folks think that they're protecting their child from innocence, when in reality, those young folks are being exposed to those same phenomena on social media every single day. And those young folks are going to go into the universities ill-equipped for developing the criticality that's necessary to engage in any subject matter. And so the folks who are being critiqued for allowing you to have a text to help you think better are in actuality the folks who are functioning in the interest of your child, to make your child be able to make sense of the world. And so in a world where those who are looking to assist your child to be more ready for the world are being perceived as the enemy of their innocence, it does not bode well for American society writ large. And here's the thing that I want us all to understand too. This is gonna backfire. One thing I know as an educator is, if I tell a young person, they want us to ban this book, you should not read this book at all, it is awful, and all the adults say it is banned, all it invokes is a desire in those young folks to want to go read the books anyway. So the educators who are listening, there's a pedagogical move here. There's a teaching move here where it's like, if they want to ban them books in the classroom, let the young folks know it's banned, and let them know how incensed their parents are. Them young folks gonna read the books anyway. That's on the parent level. Then on the school level, understand that the school leadership is functioning in response to a larger political agenda. And the same kind of rubric that's used to ban a book like The Bluest Eye can be used to ban any arbitrary science textbook that does not represent the full holistic picture of science. So if you want to ban The Bluest Eye, we're going to use your same criteria to ban every other textbook, because the same mechanism that you're using to ban this text can be used to ban any text. So we're going to have young folks in schools not learning anything at all. I mean, the stupidity of the idea of banning a text that invokes critical thought, questioning, imagination, and understanding context and history, it's beyond me. But if they want to play the banning game, ban it all. Then we'll see what we're going to learn.
Well, we're going to find out. They're going to learn today. Chris Emdin, thank you so much for joining me on Black News Tonight. As always, I appreciate your brilliance.